What's up, everybody? We're back. Another new episode of Last Wave Podcast. Joined here again today by the co-hosts, now pretty much full-time, Brando and Buster.
Howdy ho. What's up?
It's another fine morning here at the Last Wave Podcast. If you're new here, we go over topics like ghosts, UFOs, cryptids, conspiracies, paranormal, pretty much anything under the paranormal and weird umbrella we like to get into and discuss. In this episode, we're going to go over paranormal tech. Some mainstream stuff that you can use just starting out if you're doing ghost hunting or paranormal research. We'll talk about a few off-the-wall things that we actually use that most people on TV don't. And you can do your own thing. You can mix and match. Again, it's the paranormal world, so you can reach out however you see fit. But this will just be kind of a good example of how to get a starter pack going. So, Brandon, have you ever been... I know... Buster, you went with me on that investigation, one of the last investigations. You ever been, Brando?
I have not been on any sort of investigation.
Okay.
I've been under investigation.
Next time we get an invite to go to the house where we got our the evidence where this thing was like answering us with our stuff, then I'll let you guys know. Maybe y'all can.
Yeah, I'd like to. I'd be very much like to, man. I'm very interested.
I'm very interested in seeing. Because Buster said he didn't, but I think if he really toned in, he could feel it because there was this energy that I've never felt before, and you could trace it. Like I could feel it. Felt like a limb was falling asleep, and you could tell where it was going. And at one point, that energy was smack between me and another person that was there because they felt it on one side and I felt it on the opposite side. So it's like something was standing smack between us. Now that is exactly where we caught that evidence. So I'm wondering if that is some kind of maybe a portal, maybe a gateway. I don't know why that one spot is tuned perfectly.
The vortex.
Yeah, the vortex. Something. Because we tried to debunk it. I put our devices against the TV, the air conditioner, fans, his vape. I mean, you can see on the video, if you're listening to this, it's probably 3 or 4 episodes back. But it's pretty impressive, I think. I mean, people on TV don't even get that. I mean, it was a 10-minute question and answer session. So, I mean, definitely check it out. Some of the most impressive stuff. It's the most impressive thing I've ever caught, that's for sure. But anyway, so if you're going to start out, and we're going to try to do a little bit of more videotaping because we're going to try to show some of the equipment that we have. So it may go from the podcast to the visual from time to time, but we'll work that out for you. So if you see the screen change, just check it out. We're just going over some of the tech that we have. So first, the basic first one, I guess anyone ever gets, is going to be your K2 meter. Now your K2 is EMF detector, electromagnetic frequency, and it's just got one button in the center. And again, you'll see all these once we get the camera, once we get set up. I'm going to put them all in front of us. Now, Brando is attempting to touch it right now. I guess I can go ahead and video some of this just for this example. So it should transfer over to the video. So as you can see, the device is on. Brando's touching it or being very close to it, and it's not doing anything. Now, that is how it's supposed to work. It wouldn't be any good if it was just us being able to make it light up.
I was trying to see if maybe I'm a Jedi of some sort and I could will it into existence, some sort of EMF, but it didn't happen.
That would be impressive.
I thought so.
We have something here.
I thought so.
So that's your basic starter device. And if you put this anywhere, if you put this up to like a fridge, a microwave, it's going to go pretty close to red, to orange to red. So when it lights up, what we were doing and what most people do, you can use this as a response tool, basically asking if there's any spirits here. Now, if this lights up in my house, I'm going to be upset. Well, I'm not too upset, but concerned. So if there's any spirits here, you can ask them to come up and touch the device and make it light up red. And if they do, then it will light up and fluctuate. Again, check out the video on our evidence to see that, because it definitely did. But yeah, you just take this. You can get this on Amazon. Check out our TikTok and stuff for links to these items where you can pick them up. So yeah, that's your first one.
Let's see what happens when we
put
Shungite up.
Yeah, let's put Shungite up next to it. Let's see. This is what's called an experiment.
Here's a piece of Shungite. It's a little broke, but you'll have that.
How did that happen?
I got nothing.
One thing led to another.
I
But
have it.
this does neutralize electromagnetic waves and radiation, so
it wouldn't make it.
wouldn't
Yeah.
make it. But if it did, this is only proving that it is going to keep things at a
Lower level.
deficit and or neutral number.
Shut-eye is getting more expensive, but it is definitely good to have.
It is definitely worth it.
We actually had a
So
debacle.
that's the K2.
We had this debacle the other day where we were trying to. So in the gym, I like to listen to my music, so I got my headphones on, and I've been having this reoccurring problem where they've been shorting out to the point of where I've been so infuriated that I just want to throw my phone down, and I've been thinking it was my phone. We found out the other day it's actually this fool getting close to me with his shungite and just ruining everything,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. And then after we figured that out, I have not had a single problem with it, but it was actually. It's so good at what it does, it will destroy your Bluetooth.
That's interesting. I had no idea because I have Bluetooth stuff too, and I never even thought about when I was wearing it in my little medicine pouch thing around my neck that it was. I mean, I assumed it was doing its job.
Yeah, no, it's working.
Oh, it works.
Yeah, well, that's kind of interesting. That's extremely interesting. So, yeah, so you start out with your K2. That's your basic stuff. Now, I have another EMF milligauss meter that I use for the investigations that I think is just better, obviously, because it has numbers. So this one is, again, this is just a different brand. It's a Metark, I believe it is. It is. But it's got different settings between milligauss. You can change the Celsius to degrees. And again, this one will light up bright red if you put it in front of like a microwave. Because that's what it's technically for, is to detect harmful doses of EMF and stuff like that.
This is just another EMF detector?
Yes.
Is it in another format, or is
Yeah,
it checking for something different?
So it's milligauss, EMF, and temperature. So if your temperature drops by 10 degrees, obviously that's a sign of something. Mm-hmm. If this lights up red, that's a sign of something. Now, something extremely interesting that we found. You want to try your Jedi trick? Nothing. So, just focus. Concentrate. Well, if it like flies off the table, that'd be cool. That'd be cool to catch on camera. But anyway, so we use this, and it will light up red. And we found something very serious and very interesting. And as everyone can see on the video, there's this. Again, the numbers will go. It'll light up bright red, and you got your temperature. So this one's good to have. I think this was like $30 or so. Not terribly expensive, and super good to have. Our EMFs and these two EMF devices to look, and we found a lot of interesting readings. Okay, but here's the thing: we found them on box fans and little portable heaters
And window panes.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. It was the window pane.
It was the glass
Yeah,
part of it.
it was the glass part of the window pane, which is where the client said they were seeing things. They were seeing faces. No one liked to look at the window, etc., etc. And this window, we looked, and sure enough, the EMF reading in the middle of it was very elevated. It was like teens, 10s to 20s, 15s, 20s.
Like abnormal.
Very abnormal, because the base reading of a house should be about a 1.
Mm-hmm.
So to get something in the middle of this window, 10, 15 was...
And it was only in the middle of the window.
Yeah, and there was no electric boxes or anything near it on the inside or the outside.
And that's what got us. We went outside. We went around the house. So this window is 6 or 7 feet up with a basement crawl space underneath. We opened that. We didn't see anything. Now here's the thing. We went back up. We were trying to figure this out. So we put the EMF detector and the milligauss detector near the box fan. This little, not even a foot around, big fan near their bed. And it was putting off, Brando, I'm not sure you, 50, 60, 70, 80, 150, 160, bright red, pinging.
That's like dangerous.
I mean, yeah, a bad microwave will put off about 50 when it's running. So this fan, for some reason, is putting out over hundreds. And when you put it in the back of the fan, which was the weird thing, it overloaded the device. It said OVL. So it was 200 plus. And this is 2 or 3 feet away from this lady's bed. So I surmise that these things are creating that anxious feeling, the depression, the anxiety, the scaring. It was creating that vibe. And I don't know what it had to do with the window because it was in the middle of the window. It was bad, and then right between it wasn't as bad, but at the device it was bad. So that part was weird.
Is there any way the window would have been catching these things and kind of like storing it in some way or another? I know glass is not necessarily something that does that. It doesn't have those properties, but I mean,
I think, what is glass?
Yeah,
right.
But tempered sand.
Yeah.
Right.
But they are using like crystal and stuff. You could put like data on crystal pieces, so it could be. And also, when we do the paranormal, we got to think of windows, closets, mirrors as liminal spaces, portals between. So you take that power booster for the paranormal and put it right next to a liminal space. You're gonna probably see stuff coming through that space because you got to think.
Trippy.
Yeah, I always think of mediums, and then apparently your box fan as like a beacon to the other side because mediums, I feel like they give off more of a light on that side. So these disincarnate spirits are
drawn to it like a moth.
Yeah. So if I'm walking, if I go out to the gas station, I pick up an energy drink. Well, if that ghost is out wandering around and they see this big amplifier of energy, they're gonna come get some. So. That's our theory that we were working on.
I would be interested to know the make and model of the box fan and see if other ones similar have the same outcome.
It was a modern one. It wasn't even old. It was like you could pick it up like Walmart for like $10.
And you know how Buster over here was talking about there being a like how in electronics and stuff in the circuitry and the circuit boards they put like sigils and shit and like demonic things.
That's very possible.
What if that modern box fan had a touch of that on it?
Yeah.
Think about that.
Well, I mean, because you can tune that to something, to a certain frequency. You can tune it to a certain motor. So, I mean, it's completely possible. And, I mean, we went into the other room at the home, which is where we caught that big evidence. And they had a small portable heater that you just plug in and turn on. Same thing. Astrological numbers, 100 and something. And this fan is like... we haven't done enough research into that, but I feel like that's a thing that has never been talked about. Because in my 15 some odd years of research in paranormal, not once have I heard check the fans.
Right.
I've never seen anybody on TV do that. None of that.
Well, you got to think they're literally sitting there creating a resonance.
Yeah. Continuous resonance.
It's creating a vibrational frequency.
And since it's been cold, I've turned the one in my room off, and I felt much better. I don't know if it's that or if I'm just taking some vitamins to try to be healthier. But I mean, without that constant going, especially in that room because it's so enclosed, there's no windows or anything. Yeah, it's just that resonance frequency bouncing around in there. It's definitely not safe.
Like, I definitely recommend everybody get some shungite and wear it around their neck.
Yeah, shungite for sure.
I'm gonna try to hunt down some shungite cuff earrings.
That'd be cool.
Wear them on each ear.
Yeah.
And that way you're protected on both sides.
Yeah. Have like a sexy elvish look, you know what I'm saying? But it also serves a purpose.
Yeah. Sexy with purpose.
Sexy with a purpose.
There's nothing.
Our next t-shirt.
They say,
yeah, sexy with a purpose.
Fashion is pain.
Yeah. Side note, keep an eye out because we are working hard to get some different merch types. So I feel like we're gonna have shirts soon.
Yeah, we're actually looking at some of the merch Garrett's made here too.
Yeah,
and it's
we've got stickers,
pretty damn cool.
Play mats, because of course, if you follow any of our stuff, you know that we have other channels. We've got the Last Wave Games as well, so we do a lot of nerd stuff. So we've got play mats.
Put some on the camera.
Pads. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if we. Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
So this stuff isn't for sale. So this is like a test run products and stuff. But everybody will enjoy this. So that's a good idea. We'll put some of it on camera. So we've got our logo.
Is that recorded?
It is. Nice little. Is it? There we go. Now it's recording. So we've got this. So we're gonna put this one on camera. You should see this switched over in the podcast itself. So we've got our little mouse pad here. It's pretty dope. That's our logo. We've got some sweet little stickers. We've got this big sticker. So we're going to be doing vinyls for like the cars and stuff. We've got play mats and stuff as well for the Last Wave Games, but we'll talk more about that on that channel. But yeah, we're working. We're working on getting some cool stuff. We'll listen. Oh, he got you. All right. So while I got the recording, we'll go ahead and go on to the next one, and one of the most crucial and most well-known devices, which is your SP7 Spirit Box. Now, there's a lot of different Spirit Boxes on the market. A lot of them do a very similar thing, but the one most people use is the SP7. And what you do is you take this little device, you turn it on, obviously, so power, and it's going to be probably pretty loud. So this little device goes through and plays radio stations in sweeps. And what that does is it creates a white noise, as I'm sure most people can hear, white noise. And that allows the spirits to come through and make sounds, make statements, make whole sentences, hopefully, as you're going. And people have used this for many different things, including you can get Bluetooth microphones, you can plug in microphones, you can plug in headphones and do what's called the Estes method. And what that is it makes you the tuning device. So you take headphones, a blindfold, and you set yourself down, and you have a teammate ask questions. Now you can't hear nor see them, so you just say whatever you hear that comes through, and see if your answers match the questions that your teammate is asking. So again, very, very cool device. A lot of people use this one. Super cheap. Check out our Facebook page and our TikTok for links where you can pick up your own. Well, not super cheap, but definitely starter pack prices for sure. So definitely check that one out. Our little EMFs, K2. This is really your starter pack. You need this stuff if you're going to do anything meaningful, and voice recorders. Other than that, that's pretty much it. So for about $100,
Have you ever got some strange
you can get
feedback?
going.
Strange
You can get
feedback on the
The Spirit Box?
yeah.
So we have gotten one or two things on the Spirit Box, not a whole lot, just because it is kind of difficult to make out. So I don't put a whole lot of
Effort.
You gotta be like dead quiet,
all about
super. Yeah, you gotta really listen. You've got to make, and hopefully all those videos worked. So hopefully the videos and the podcast and everything goes together just nicely. So that's your mainstream tech. So some of the stuff that we use, two things precisely, are kind of off the wall. Number one being a dinner bell. The little, well, not dinner bell, but like a front office bell, like ding, ding, ding. And what that does is the ability to tap it is so easy and so light that a spirit should be able to manifest that much energy. If you're going into a home where they're talking about things are moving, things are being misplaced, we hear sounds, then that little ding, that little bit of energy should be able to be done. So you pick that up for a couple bucks and take it with you on your investigation, set it somewhere in the house where no one else is, and then you can hear it from anywhere in the house. So it's kind of a perfect little device. We also have, and it's also good for chiming, which makes the room kind of feel. I don't know how that's going to sound on the audio, but we'll do it here. We'll do a video. It's more splice work, more editing. So this is basically obviously what I'm talking about. So just you see the amount of energy it takes to do that is so little that most spirits should be able to do that if they're powerful enough to manifest things. So again, for a couple bucks, you can get kind of an off-the-wall little thing to be able to do on your investigations. Thing that we use, which I don't have it out, it's put up in a box, but is those plasma generators that we played with as kids, the little balls.
Yeah.
And what that does is it puts out and pumps energy and puts that plasma energy in the atmosphere. And what we found was pretty cool is when we used it on our last investigation, if I put my hand on it and hold one of the devices, they'll like light up.
Right.
So the energy will, and if I touch it and I'm not even holding the device, they'll light up. So it's like I'm amplifying the energy.
Man, one time me and my buddy was like hanging around, and I had one of these things and I kept electrocuting him with it. So if you hold on to it and you hold your finger a small distance away from somebody, or I assume anything that will conduct something, it'll actually arc off your fingertip and burn them. So by the end of the night, he was very mad at me, and I burned a small hole in the tip of my finger just from electrocuting him.
Yeah.
But I couldn't stop. It was hilarious.
Well, yeah, I mean that. Of course, we don't advocate being a hoodlum.
I mean,
but,
you know.
But it's experimenting.
Do as you please. Yeah.
It
was a new thing to me, so I couldn't just quit doing it.
No, that is fairly interesting because I mean, obviously we've all seen like videos where people hold hands and they get shocked and it goes from one to the other. So your body is a conductor and can pass along that energy as it goes. So I guess that's what it was doing when I was touching it and holding the device.
Yeah.
So
well, we're basically walking nuclear reactors. So
yeah, we have all that energy within us. So we should have to figure out how to manifest it and shape the reality around us.
Well, I'm sure that the shit that they feed us and they put in our water kind of inhibits our ability to do that.
It does. And I mean, that's okay. So we're at 20 minutes. We've talked a lot about the tech. So we're going to go into like free range for a little bit because that's pretty much all the tech that we use. Of course, you got a couple more things. You've got the obelisk. Oh, actually, we do have one more. So one thing that's really popular now, and Brandon, I want you to remember that because we're going to go into that. We were just talking about if you remember. My ADHD is
I feel you, bro.
Gone, but I'm trying to stay on track but off track because we'll talk about the food and stuff. So before we forget, we'll branch off and talk about that. So you're talking about the stuff they put in food and water. I saw the other day this guy who is on TikTok, and of course you can't really rely on TikTok people, but for information. But this guy's pretty well known for doing health stuff. So he was in the aisle at Walmart, and he's like trying his hardest to find something non-toxic to drink, and it was like nothing. There's nothing in the Walmart drink. Water, soda, obviously,
and even the water's still
even the water,
got fluoride,
super toxic with chemicals and stuff.
Mm-hmm. You have to literally process your own water.
Yeah, I don't remember where I heard this. It might have been like just an old story or something. But the safest things to drink are beer, wine, and coffee. And because there was this old black and white footage of this guy. I don't know. It looked like it was from the freaking 40s, 50s. And he was like, why would we drink water? It rusts our pipes. It must be rusting our insides. And I was like, that's crazy. I've never even thought about that.
That's the craziest shit I ever heard.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Some dude from the 40s is like, I got it figured out. He's like, I don't drink water. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, you drink coffee. That's where I heard it. He was like, you drink coffee or beer or wine. And I'm like, what did they do in medieval times? They drank that because the water was so disgusting.
But see, it's illegal to collect water on a federal level. So if you collect your own rainwater, it's illegal. Yeah. So, obviously we're not advocating for breaking of federal laws, but you know what, man? Get your own water. Yeah, I think it's okay to collect your own water. Yeah.
There was this video I saw of a machine that can make your water alive again or whatever, and I don't remember what the exact term is. Basically, give the antioxidants and stuff back to it.
I don't trust that.
Yeah, well, it was I was like, okay, cool, that sounds kind of cool. It was like $1,000. It's just this little thing sits on your countertop.
Yeah, I think I'll.
Well, I have this little bottle that's got a obelisk on the inside of it that's filled up with little amethyst pebbles, and when we get into alchemy again, that rock presence being there, if you let it charge in the sunlight, it charges the molecular structure of the actual crystals itself, and then when you put water nearby, it also becomes a conduit, and it charges the water to the frequency of the stones itself. So that right there also creates what they would call living water.
Yeah.
It is no longer dead water.
Yeah.
Because water has memory.
Yeah.
And if it's over here bouncing around in all these pipes and stuff, it's like, imagine if you got, sucked into a pipe and you're just blah, 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 bouncing all over the walls. By the time you get where you're going, you're probably going to be deader than shit,
Yeah.
So
that's true. That's just like I heard. I wouldn't drink any of the water around here, but this outdoorsy guy was talking about creek and stream water. It's like, this water is alive. It's flowing.
Yes.
It's like, this water is safe to drink. And I'm like, I don't know, bro.
Well,
I wouldn't drink it down here.
You gotta know where to find it. But
Yeah,
like when I was living in the
mountain
when I was living in the woods, I drank exclusively from the stream.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should be fine. Our body should be able to handle that. But one more piece of tech I wanted to bring up, actually a couple more, is the use of apps. And right now, you're seeing an app that's completely failing. So this is one of the common apps. It's actually one of the highest rating ones. And what you just saw was a freaking ad trying to pop up in the middle of it. Now, this app allegedly can detect spirits and can come up with words that the spirits use. Now, obviously, I believe this app to be complete trash.
Yeah,
and it's like one of the highest rated ones.
Well, the thing is, it being an app, is that it's still going to be running off of the ability of the whatever device it's on. So
yes.
The device hasn't been made to do that. So why would I think that app is capable of such?
Right. So this is one thing I wanted people to try to avoid, is this kind of nonsense. Now, however, there is, and you see nothing came up there. It's having to do with nothing. So some people on there are saying, "Oh, I got really good responses." I don't know. I might take it to our next investigation to try.
I think some people are so hopeful and naive that they will convince themselves of something instead of being a cynical and a skeptic for the sake of knowing better.
I think so.
I think people will kind of lie to themselves a lot of the time.
I would definitely agree. Now, there is a device. There's two devices I would absolutely freaking love to have. One of which being an obelisk, but they're like $700 or $800 if you can find them. At least last time I checked. And it basically has a word database in it, and the spirits can choose which words. You can ask questions, type them in, the spirits can choose which words to use. Now, some of the apps, while they're trying to be EVP apps, they download a word database onto your phone or tablet, and then they have those words on repeat, and the spirits are allegedly supposed to be able to use and pick a word to say. Now, that is incorrect, I believe. But what these apps have actually done is create, some of them are absolute trash, but some of them that use a word database program have kind of created an obelisk, because the spirit technically should be able to go in there and pick a word out of that database to use. You see what I'm saying? They put all these words on there to make EVPs and make them sound cool. But what they've actually done is create a word database for the spirits to use, if it works. Now, again, I don't put a dime into any of the apps that are out there. Some people do. Some people even use them on the shows, which I can't understand why. Like, if you have the money for a show, you need to be using tech, like real stuff. You don't need to be using your phone and some free app.
Yep, for real.
But the last thing I would really want to have is a portal. And if y'all haven't seen a portal device, they are like $700 or $800 because it's like one guy that makes them. And it's basically this amp. It's a small or medium-sized small amp, right? It's a tabletop. And you put it, it's got like coils and copper and crystals and tuners and stuff. And this amp will come through like the SB7.
What's it called?
It's called the Portal device by Huff Paranormal. And I'll show you guys after this. We can't play it because we'll get copyrighted for the audio. But it's this amplifier that you can get full-on sentences from spirits.
Paranormal.
Like, huh?
Paranormal what?
It's a paranormal portal device.
The portal device.
Yeah. You can look up Huff Paranormal, HUFF, and it'll have like full-on, like, lean it up, just said it, but it'll have full-on sentences. They'll come through like, the other side is beautiful. Like, yes, those, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it'll come through with whole sentences from different spirits. You can hear them everywhere. It's crazy. So I would love to have one of those, and I'll show you guys and do your own research. If anybody's listening, if you want to look them up, they're really cool. Look them up on YouTube. The guy even claimed to be speaking to Kobe Bryant at one point, which I thought was, I'm like, why?
Why is there a personality attached to it, you know?
Yeah.
Being on that level.
Yeah. Why it's not just a spirit. But yeah, that's definitely all the tech I think I would really want to have. Obviously, you need cameras. What's those things? The SLS camera. I would really like to have one of those. There's a lot of apps out there that say they do that too, but that's crap as well. An SLS camera is that one where it is the camera from the Xbox. I can't remember the Kinect camera, and it makes like a map of like a skeletal map of a person. If it sees a image or sees a spirit, it'll map.
Is that the one that's like kind of half-assed augmented reality?
Yes.
The Illuma Room. You remember that?
I don't.
Okay.
But yeah, the Kinect basically does that. It's like what they use to map you in for the movement games. So if it sees a figure of a human, it maps it in. So you can basically see this figure on camera being mapped in. And they've had all kinds of crazy stuff with that. People like stuff climbing on the walls, stuff like they'll be like, "Can you wave your hand?" And the spirit will like literally be like this. Like it's that one's pretty cool. I would like to have that.
It's like some Odd Thomas stuff.
Yeah, you can clearly see them. Like they'll go into people, they'll climb on the walls, they'll sit in a chair. I mean, you can clearly see them all day.
You think if somebody was wearing shungite, they would be able to do that?
I don't know.
Because it would repel them.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe we don't wear any shungite next time we go to an investigation. Maybe we keep it in the car.
That might have been why I didn't experience what y'all were experiencing.
I wonder if I had mine on. That's a good thought. That's a good theory. Maybe that's why.
We have to establish the common denominators in all of these scenarios, so we know what not to do for the control method next time.
Yeah. After the whole headphone debacle, man, it's just we've really been questioning that thing.
What?
The shungite, what effect does it have? Yeah. I mean, literally, I was getting pissed, I was mad, and then I realized it was that, and we haven't had a problem since then, pretty much.
Wild. At least that lends some kind of credence to the whole "we're not just crazy for carrying around rocks" thing.
No, there is definitely
something to it.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's
property.
Legit. That's legitimate.
That's pretty cool. All right, so that was a good 30-minute solid episode on paranormal tech. Real quick, while we're here, for everyone and for you guys, did you watch that freaking Yeti video?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was.
What are your thoughts? Because
that looked ridiculous.
We need to talk about it. I'm pretty sure that's the only real footage of a Yeti ever caught.
Dude, if that was a suit, that was a hell of a suit.
So I was thinking about it because I watched it about 15, 20 more times.
Yeah.
The way that thing moves is ape-like. Like if you ever see a gorilla run, it doesn't run straight. It runs that side.
Yeah, but
thing.
People can. My brother does that pretty well too.
Is your brother 15 feet tall?
Yeah, I guess that's the difference, man.
I know, but you got
I don't know about 15. Let's watch it again.
I'll have to pull it up on my phone.
Here, I'll pull it up on my phone.
Let's go, man. I saw him watching it, and I was like, that's a hell of a suit, man. If that's a suit,
because the people in the comments were saying that thing in the red is a German Shepard. Like it's going through somebody's stuff and gets bit, so it starts slinging that German Shepard around. And if that's a full-blooded Shepherd that he's just flinging, that's like 10, 12, 13 foot tall Hulk of a beast.
Yeah, it tripped me out, man. I think we were doing something, so we didn't really digest it. But
if you pull it up, hold on, we'll okay. I want to make sure the audio's down because it's some kind of stupid. Somebody put a stupid overlay on it here. You do. Like from them doing parkour from The Office, and I'm like, I don't know where this video's come from or who made this, but it's honestly absurd.
A video of
it's a video of a video.
To splice it into it.
So it's
like what?
All right, so watch.
The way it ragdolls down makes it seem like
that's what seems ridiculous to me.
But that's how pandas fall. Because they are all the time falling downhill. Yeah, how are you going to fall? You're going to be waving your hands? No, you're going to take it. That's the smartest way to fall. I just hate that they did we're probably
but also the thing in the red looks to not be.
If that's a dog, it's dead now.
It is, yeah. That thing.
It just looks ragged. Like it looks like a rag doll, man.
Well, I wish it was original audio so we could actually Someone in the comments said the original audio is a lot of roaring and growling and yelping and stuff. But I don't know. Again, I have no idea where the video came from.
I don't think that I would have quit recording there either.
I would have got the. Well, it may not, because on TikTok
but
you
at
can
the
only
same
have like a certain.
at the same time, I probably would be trying to get my shit and get the hell out of there.
Yeah. Okay. So
I mean, yeah, fair enough.
If that's real, they can have the forest. They win because I'm a big dude. But
yeah, I know my limits. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that if that's a real Yeti Sasquatch, all them shows, they can have it.
There aren't many people I wouldn't throw down with, but I think that Yeti makes my list.
Yeah, I mean it's at least 10 feet tall. I mean that's way bigger. That's way bigger and less chill than I expected. The stories of Bigfoot to be. I was like, all right, cool. We go out here. We're gonna trade some marbles, and we're gonna have some fruit together. No, this thing is huge.
Do you think it jumps good?
I think it does whatever it needs to at that size.
Man, you think about the difference between a Yeti and a Bigfoot. Like,
That's true.
Bigfoot would exist in a temperate area where he could harvest things to some degree. A Yeti, he's not going to be picking fruit in the snow.
Yeah.
So he's probably eating things.
Yeah, he's going in there with that bear attitude.
Yeah,
like, I'm going here to get snacks.
Exactly.
Then he goes and gets bit by a dog, throws the dog like it's. Like
I don't know that seemed like not like a dog to me, but.
I was skeptical too, but I could believe that it is. Like I could see that it could be.
I don't know, man. Don't you hate just being unsure of anything?
Use proper discernment.
Yeah.
And proper intellectual analysis on these situations, and don't only believe half of what you hear and absolutely none of what you see, or is it half of what you see and absolutely none of what you hear?
Well, yeah.
That's it.
Believe
damn dyslexia.
Both.
Yeah.
Both.
Believe what you want to believe, but yeah, I had to touch on that before the end of the episode because that is, in my opinion, the best video evidence of a Bigfoot Yeti that I have ever seen. I don't know where the video came from. It popped up yesterday. I haven't stopped watching it.
We gotta hunt that down. I'm sure those people have already been disappeared or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. You don't release some stuff like that and just get to go.
That's why. Look, man. If you ever gather any kind of evidence of like a cryptid or like a giant
like
or something, something that somebody doesn't want you to share, hold on to it. And then set up a system of dispersing it so far and wide that everybody's releasing it at the same time, so they can't scrub it as easily.
Yeah.
Or like say you're hiking through the woods and you're attacked by a Yeti. Hopefully you have a gun on you.
Yeah.
Shoot it in the face. Okay.
Well,
I know. Hold on now.
Continue.
I know that sounds kind of messed up. Cut it into pieces. Mail it to people around the country and the world, man. Get it out there. That's the thing. We're
going further than I think we need to.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, man, I just hate, somebody's like, I found this, and then they don't go through, the process of, covering their ass, and then they're missing. He had a heart attack, and all that shit was taken out of his garage. It happens,
to the Smithsonian.
Happens constantly. I mean, all the time, and I just hate to see it. So just cover your ass and, do humanity a favor.
Yes.
And get that out there.
Yes. Now, what I also don't want to suggest with a creature that big is shooting it.
That was
because
me
I've
being
seen the
kinda
dramatic.
And
yeah, that was dramatic.
Well, I'm talking about for your own safety,
because how you might just piss it off.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you shoot bears, lions, they'll charge you.
Dude, if it's already attacking you, you have nothing to lose by making it feel some sort of pain.
But don't go out of your way, because
No.
we are absolutely 100% not sure of what it is capable of.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we actually know what a bear will do. I don't know anything about a Yeti.
You just get broke, bro. We have a theory because of the Dyatlov Pass incident, which is
the Russian thing.
Yeah, people think that was a Yeti, and now I believe it because those people died, and when they found their bodies, some of their organs were removed, but they were blunt force trauma, like they'd been in a car crash.
Yeah,
and I mean, look at that video.
Yeah, just throttled.
Yeah, like the Hulk when he was bouncing Loki back and forth.
Yeah, and Siberia is one of the most remote, spaces on the planet.
You're going to end up being a snack.
It's just the whole. That's why that guy that was seeing the giant in Canada, I believe that too. That's a pretty large remote area, especially their national forest. And that makes me think too, a lot of these reserves that we have, preserves, national forests and things like that.
There's a reason.
Yeah, I think so. And then there's places you can't go.
Like
There's a couple places you're not supposed to go that I'm gonna go, and I'm not gonna tell you because
Yeah.
I'm not. This is not an admission of guilt, but I'm doing it.
The Congo. I've heard there's like all different kinds of like different tribes and races and species
Cryptids.
that have been cryptids that have been left untold over the years to modern science, quote unquote.
Well, there's even that one of my favorite stories that came out probably a decade ago was these Navy SEALs that were allegedly on some kind of mission down in the Congo, and they saw something. They saw a whole tribe of these things called the Kolonoro, and it's these little 3 foot tall humanoid, but they were like gray. They had fur. And they had like spiked things going. Picture a gray Sonic the Hedgehog, like a porcupine walking, pretty much. And they said that these things walked upright. They hunted, and when they got upset, their quills would flare and shake and rattle. And we allegedly can't ever see the footage because it's a Navy SEAL team on a government mission, Black Ops, whatever the crap.
That's mighty convenient,
right? But that is one of my favorite stories because there is tons of evidence and reports and native traditions and legends of humanoids in those regions that are 3-4 foot tall, the pygmies.
The pygmies. Like, do you remember on was it Mummy Returns? The little pygmies.
Yeah. I believe that was one of the Mummy movies.
I want to reiterate, if you, I know what you're talking about, and then that Oasis got sucked into the desert. That was tight. That was a good movie. If you see something you're not necessarily supposed to see, and that people have been led to believe are not true, don't try to make money off of it, because then you're just, you're a target, and then you're the only one with the information. So don't hold on to it and be greedy and try to squeeze something out of it, because you're not gonna get it.
No. If it's something like
just
that,
share it for free with everybody you can. I mean, you mail it out, email it out,
mail it to news places.
Yeah,
whatever.
send it to us.
Matter of fact, preferably.
Man.
With a bunch of giant toes and
that'd be lit.
I'd wear them as necklaces.
In Skyrim, you can giant's toe is like an ingredient, and we'd be over here grinding it like cheese with a grater, eating it and shit.
We're gonna have just
Morton pestle,
rare cryptid pieces. We're doing spells.
We'll do a podcast where we're eating all this stuff you're sending us. Just fairy wings and giant toes.
Then we'll do a before and after picture, like a month later.
We're just gone. We're eating fairies.
Yeah.
I would not mess with fairies. Fairies and now Yetis are off the limits.
I really want. I'm not gonna mess with anything that don't deserve it. I mean, don't start none, won't be none. But yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna end this thought right here.
All right, well, that's a pretty good episode. We went over that. It's 45 minutes. It's our normal time. I actually had to go over that Yeti thing, so.
I mean, I'm not disappointed.
No, I think it was a good episode. We've had fun, and everybody learned a little something. So for the Last Week podcast, we're signing off for Buster and Brando. Y'all say bye.
Yeah.
Good night and good luck.
All right, and like and subscribe. Comment down below if you have any topic ideas for us. Feel free to comment. We'll do any kind of research topic in the paranormal. So let us know. Catch you later.